Hi everyone, it's Nat here. Hope you're all doing well. So I'm on for my second project for November for Aunty Vera Scrap and Craft. So I'd love to use the gorgeous Tim Holtz Dapper papers to make a little mini album. Now I've seen a whole heap of these while perusing Pinterest. And they look really simple, but I think they will suit the papers nicely as well, because we got the little squares in the paper stash, and I reckon this project's going to be perfect for that. So what I've got here is just some craft cardstock. I'm going to use this as my base, and then I'll decorate with the Tim Holtz papers. So this is a Score Pal scoreboard that I got from Aunty Vera's. It's not one of the chosen products, but I did just get it recently, so I thought I would give this a go. Okay, so what we're going to do is firstly score sort of like 3 columns at 2 3/4 inches each. So we'll go to the 2 3/4 mark. And then again, there's one quarter there, 1, 2, and another 2/4 would make it at the 5 1/2. And then that's 2/4 and 2, and then another quarter would make it at 8 1/4. All right, so we've got our 3 score marks there, all at 2 3/4 across. So the next thing we want to do is now turn this around. So the first score we want to do at about 1 3/4. So there's the 1, there's the 3/4. And then we're going to do another score straight after this one at about 3/8. So that's 1 2 3/8 there. And then we've got to do the next one at 2 3/4. So what I might do to make it a bit easier is move the last score line I did to the 1/4 mark, or else it's going to be hard for me to count because I find it hard sometimes. So we need 2 3/4, and we're at the 1/4. So that would be the 3/4 and 2 to here. And then we want to do another score at the 3/8. So 1 2 3/8 to there. Oh, stay on line. And then again we want to go the 2 3/4. So we're at 1/4 there. So that would be 3/4, 1 2. That and that, and then we do 1/8 just here. It's only a little one there, and then again we do 2 3/4. So I'll move that to the 1/4 mark, and that would be 3/4, 1 2. So for me it would be just here. I've trouble staying on the line sometimes, that's for sure. But it's just practice. There we go. All right, so they should be all the score marks that we need to make for our little mini album now. The first thing I'm going to do is cut along the score lines and cut the bits off that we don't need at the edges here, because my paper was just that little bit long. So I'm just going to go along this one. And the same along this side here. from here, what we want to do is start cutting a whole lot of it out. So we're going to cut the square out that runs down there to the second score line down and the first score line across. So it's probably easier if I just show you. So it's going to be like that. And then down this way. And then we're going to do the same with the opposite side here. Put them to the side. So far it is like that. And then we are going to cut out this little bit here that's in between the two squares on this side. Just fold this up on the score line and then trim that off like that. We can neaten up afterwards if we need to, and then we'll do the same over on this part here. Looks like that. And then we're going to do a similar thing, and this is the little real narrow gap here down the bottom. So up the top here we've got the shorter middle part than these, and then down the bottom we've got the shorter gap there, then there and there. So we'll do the same, cutting along both the score lines here and taking the middle piece out. Alright, so that's a good start to our little mini album. So the next thing we want to do is we want to cut down a couple of the edges, opposing edges. So we'll cut down this one, and this one. And they will be folded over to make little pockets in the middle. So just thinking of how much I'd like to cut off. Might help if I actually rule some lines. Pencil. So let's see what we got here. So I should do inches since I've done everything else in inches. So we could cut, I might do it 1 2/8 from the edge. 1 2/8 there. I should do it from the middle, that'll probably work out a bit. 1 2 3 4 5. even. So I'm just going to rule a line down there so I know where I want to cut it. And just double check that that's 1 2/8. So we'll do the same over here, 1 2/8. And then again over here. Okay, so now we just want to cut these top bits off here along the line. Now we've got that. Now the next thing we might do is, I wouldn't mind thumb notches in each of these little pockets. So just choosing my, don't know if that's an inch, 3/4 of an inch. I would think it's 3/4. This, oh, it might be an inch. Circle punch. And just debating whether I should try and measure it evenly so I get it in the middle or not. Maybe, I don't usually, but trying to behave myself. So it's about 2.5, so that would be about 1 1/4. That's not, all right, it's 2 3/4. So that would be more like it. So 1 3/8. Oh, we don't need it over that side. 1 3/8. And 1 2 3/8. Just so I can sort of get the thumb notch centered. So just go in a little, take that out. Like that. So now I'm going to fold them over, but I'm not going to stick them down because, of course, we want to cover it with our beautiful Tim Holtz papers. So, but you'll get an idea then of how it's going to end up. Now, this is where you might need to trim off some bits a little bit more, just good. And then you might need to cut these ends down a little bit to make sure that it folds all right and that it's in keeping with the rest of it. But so far so good anyway, so might not have to. So that'll be that. And then we're going to have to fold these. And that one. So yeah, basically fold it along all the score lines that are left. This bit needs a little trim just there. Oh no, that's come off. Same over the other side there. Two little score lines here. It's hard to get that second one. When they're so close, that can be difficult sometimes. There, that one's got that. Okay, that's not looking too bad. So the idea is to finish up with these all folded in like that, and then you've got this little flap that can have a photo on it or a journaling spot or just be decorated. So when it's closed up, they fold over like that, and then this folds like that. So it's almost like a little matchbook album, just like that, which I really like. So thinking it might be good to corner around these top bits just here. So I might use my 7mm corner round for that. Yeah, that looks a bit nicer. So that is the basis of your little mini album there. So now it's just time to cover it and decorate it. What I did was take my little mini album base away, and I cut out a sheet of the 3x4 papers from the Tim Holtz Dapper collection, and the 3x3s as well, which are about this size. They were a perfect size to be able to cut down just a little bit more and stick onto my little squares on my album. And then these ones were great too to cut down and use. So I'll show you what I did with that. But then I thought I would come back on and we would embellish the whole album together. So I spent about an hour embellishing and talking to myself, and then realised that I had not been recording. Yeah, I think I forgot to press the red button. So I've been waiting for that to happen. It hasn't happened yet, but yeah, there's always a first. So I have this mini album. And as you can see, it's, yeah, I've used the papers to cover it. So with these 3x4 bits, I could cut them down enough to have a square and then a bit for a top piece here, and you'll see on the inside where I've cut these down and used them as well, but they fit really nicely. So that's the front and that's the back. So what I did was I printed out some of my family pictures. My mum's side of the family, they used to own a brickyard, and there's a few pictures of that in here and other pictures of her family members. I actually don't know who these are. They might be on that side of the family. I don't know. I've got to write down all the information and put it on here so I know and stuff. So I had some old vintage tickets, and also I used this washi tape, which is an Aunty Vera washi tape. It's not one of the chosen products this month, I don't think so. But of course the papers are. Then I just used some calico, which I inked up and put over the top. So these are the Tim Holtz Noble Gent stamps. So I used a lot of those. So I stamped onto a piece of paper, ripped it out, inked around it, and there I've got the proprietor of ideas on the front. Now this is one of the Tim Holtz adornments, which is a chosen product as well as the stamps. And I coloured it in again with my gold oil based texture because I just felt that the silver didn't really fit in well. And I really like the look of the gold or the bronzy sort of colour. So I've attached that to a bulb pin and put a little eyelet in there. So now to open it, I've just used your Velcro dots and I cut it in half. So I like how the little adornment that dangles down, when you open it up, it sort of dangles on the inside, which is pretty cool. So I've also been using my Ideology. Now these are Small Talk, I think. Yep, Small Talk stickers. I love them. You'll always find one that's appropriate, which is really cool. So, and there's so many there that you can use them for heaps of projects. So I've used one up here and it says, it's always the small pieces that make the big picture. So I really liked that one. So then to open it up, go like this. So I've got more family pictures. Now I printed these out on a photo mat paper and then just inked around them. I like the matte look, and of course I sized them down first. And what I love about this is that you can fit all these photos on there, but it's so little and compact, it's easy to store, which is really nice. So I have also, a while back, I picked up the Field Note stamps and I absolutely adore them. I printed a whole stack out on some of my tea-dyed paper scraps, all ready to go. So I've been able to use a few of those as well. Now I know that one of the other lovely ladies is using the Field Note stamps for this month. So they too are Aunty Vera's and on sale for the month, which is really cool. So I've got a Field Note stamp there and there. Then I used a postage stamp. So on these squares, I would have used just the 3x3 papers and cut them down. And I just left a bit of room around the outside to see the base cardstock because I really like the look of it. So then that flips down like that. So here I've got another beautiful family photo, some of the washi tape, and another saying that says, "Go where your heart takes you." And that's backed onto some of the paper scraps from the Dapper paper. And then down here, the actual paper was a bit busy. None of the photos seemed to work very well on that paper. So I used the 3 big word stamps here, Exploration, Wanderlust and Imagination. And I love the way they look on there. So that worked out very nicely. And then we flip it open. So what I've done is used the 3x4 pieces and I've cut them so that I could use the same piece to cover this square plus the pocket on each one of these pages. See, that's the same as that. So that used them up really well. So rather than using my big pieces and just cutting little bits out for this, I was able to utilise these smaller pieces. So beautiful photo of the brickyard there. And I found a... Now, the brickyard, yeah, I used to play there when I was young, so I've got heaps of memories for that, very special memories. So, yeah, it was one of the oldest brickyards in South Australia, I think. I think it was the last remaining one that used to do it the old way or whatever. So I found dictionary meanings, so that say brick that I've put there, and I found some what say bricklayer and all that I've put down there. So the shipment and collect, that's just stamped onto some scrap paper and pulled out. That's from the Field Notes. And then with all of my little journaling cards, I have printed the men from the Noble Gent stamp set. And they look really cool. I didn't want to use pattern paper or anything because it's too busy, and I couldn't use anything that stuck out or else they wouldn't fit back in because my pockets are quite tight. So they can be journaled on, so I'll probably write the information of all the photos on these. And they slip just back in there. So on this one, it's another one of the Field Note stamps and postage stamp family picture, and it says, "It's the little things that make life big," which I really like. So I've got the 2 other gentlemen from the Noble Gents there. This is just a number stamp that I have here. this old beast of a thing that I collected recently, which I absolutely love. So I just stamped a whole lot of them out on some tea-dyed paper scraps. Put that on the back of some linen and then stuck it on. I like the way that looks. And that's the old brick truck, which I've layered onto the dictionary meaning. So it's very simple and small and compact, but I love that about it, and it's a really cool little way for me to keep these memories without having to have a huge album that I have to flip through. So I really love the way this has turned out. It's quite quick to make the base. I would say the cutting and putting the Tim Holtz papers on took a fair bit of time. That was probably the thing that took the most time really for me. But embellishing it was heaps of fun, so I'll probably make a few more of these in the future, I reckon. I love the way it's turned out. So then you just close it up like that. And shut it like that. And there we have it. So just a little one for this time, and thank you Aunty Vera, that was heaps of fun to make. So go and check out what we're all making this month, and check out the shop and see what bargains you can get for the month of November, and take care of yourselves and be good. See you later.